I've been fortunate enough to have been taking part in the majority of the protests since the beginning in the Bay Area, in various locations, with a lot of success. We've had quite a bit. You know, the answer to that question, there's no set answer that I could really give you, because as my journey in protesting Scientology, the reasons I started protesting are not entirely all the same reasons I protest now, if you can understand. I mean, the obvious reasons up first, it was the history of the life of L. Ron Hubbard, completely false. I started listening to the words of people like Jesse Prince and Jerry Armstrong, Tori Bazazian, Tori McGoof, and these were the first victims slash witnesses, voices that I would hear. And so that got my interest, and as I pursued this protesting thing, I got to meet more and became friends with, and it became very real at meeting the victims after victim after victim after victim of Scientology. And to be honest with you, I'm an individual with a past, and I took this as a sign that this never-ending stream of victims that kept crossing my path was something that I was going to use my little bit of effort that I can put in this thing for something good. And I have definite beliefs about religion that we don't need to go into now, but Scientology, in its size and what it is and how evil it is, seemed like a job that we could do. When I say we, I don't mean just Anonymous. I mean the old time protesters. As long as we're all in a group and together, Scientology can be taken down. And I think if you see what's happened in the past 48 hours, we're being pretty sick. It's crumbling. It's crumbling. The timing of this Tom Cruise Katie thing, with this event that's been going on the past couple of days, I think there's a synergy there that has really, it's just another shell over the wall of the compound, if you understand, and we're winning, basically. You're talking to an atheist, so I think faith is a false virtue, so that's a no-brainer for me. I don't think, a person much wiser than myself, Senator Nick Xenophon, put it much better than I ever could. People, and I'm paraphrasing, people are allowed to believe however they want, and I support that. People should be allowed to believe whatever they want, but to be a Scientologist requires more than belief. To be a Scientologist requires a certain behavior, and that no one is above the law. Their actions are criminal, no one is above the law, and they shall be held to it.
Scientology?
No, I don't care if you believe that Xena the Space Lord or any of those stories. No, like I said, victims. All that stuff is nebulous. All that stuff is stories in a book. I'm talking about flesh and blood individuals who are suffering tonight. I'm talking about people who are sleeping in a parking garage in Hollywood, California, while patrol cars are driving by 20 feet away, and they can't leave. And because Scientology may or may not have something worked out with law enforcement in some cities, that I feel that maybe a blind eye is being turned to this. It's a gross human rights violation, and America loves to point fingers at other countries and say, human rights violation, human rights violation. Well, I got news. It's going on in your town too. So let's stop it right where we are first.
Anything you want to add?
There is something I'd like to add. Everything that I have done, by the way, in the way of protest, I would like to say that my wife, Lisa Salerno, has been attached to my hip, and I wouldn't have been able to maybe have the ear of as many people as I do, or maybe have the consideration that some people have given me without the support of my wife. And I just really want to go on record and say that.
Any thoughts?
The Dublin conference was amazing. Now, I remember when it was in the planning stages, and to get with all, Pete, I was hearing about it from Pete and the other Dubliners, and I had been discussing with Sam Domingo, wouldn't it be great if we could get a conference that was not just Anons, that was X's, Anons, and Indies even, possibly. Sam stepped up and hit it out of the park. I think she represented the independent Scientology movement beautifully. And kudos to her. The Anons, the victims that we heard, very heartbreaking stories, clearly. If you go back and watch the videos or if you watched it live, it'll break your heart. So I think these are stories that needed to be told, and the timing is perfect.